this week and my gums are weak. And they have to pull back the gum line and then take the calculus from the gum line. They have to destroy that.
If there was going to be a weak part of my body and someone told me it had to be my gums, I'd be okay with that.
Better than sphincter. Hey, welcome in. My name is Matt Murphy, and you've caught the podcast called All the Best Words. I say all the best words.
I'm Cameron Smith. I write all the best words.
And together, this is All the Best Words.
I know words. I have the best words.
This is All the Best Words with Matt Murphy and Cameron Smith.
I've made a determination that I'm not going to cross my legs during this episode of All the Best Words.
It seems aggressive.
Let's see if I can manage to do it. If you're new to the podcast, thank you for being here. Like and subscribe or do what you need to do to let us know that you support us. We're on a variety of different platforms, and regardless of what platform you might be watching or listening on, here's how it works. Cameron presents a word, I present a word, and we talk about those words. We call it All the Best Words.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Pretty simple. You want to go first?
I would like to, and as the father of 5 boys, this word is largely foreign to me. In fact, the only interaction I've had with it was when my sister was young, and the word is dolls.
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 If there was a word here, it would be dolls.
Yes.
One of these days, we're going to get the technology.
Yes, probably AI.
Yep.
AI is everywhere. So we just say that when we need a thing. Now we just say AI.
Dolls.
The word is dolls. So there has been much weeping and gnashing of teeth with regard to what I'll call the upper doll threshold. How many dolls do you really need? And if we have to reset trade policy and your dolls are more expensive or you get fewer dolls, do you love America? And to me, there needs to be a news cycle that is not bored, because I think that's what we're really seeing. It is simply, Trump said, I'm going to reset the global trade alignment. Okay, fine. For me to be consistent, I've said, if you want to do that, I disagree with you. I actually think tariffs are bad policy, if that's actually where you're going with this. But if you do it and say that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to readjust, there will be a pain point, and that's fine. Trump has been consistent and said there will be a pain point. That pain point is not right now. And that's what I find so weird about this doll conversation. If we get to a point over the holidays, say, where you can't buy toys, that the shelves are bare, that you can't buy clothes, well, that would be very bad, Matt. Mm-hmm. That would be a situation where Republicans are in deep political trouble, and this is not going well. The gamble with tariffs has not paid off.
Fair.
However, right now, we're talking about our concerns as if they are realities. Those are hypotheticals. The upper doll threshold is a hypothetical. It is not real. Your daughter has not been deprived of a doll at this juncture, and if she is, my wife was kind of a tomboy, but she has an American Doll collection at my mother-in-law's house, and I don't know how to put it this delicately, but I'm your pusher man.
Let's go. Cameron Smith selling the black market dolls. Do all dolls come from China? It reminds me of a story that I could relate to you about an experience that I had in Boston, Massachusetts, and there was a young lady, a singer, we'll call her, by the name of China Doll.
Yes.
But that's probably another story for a different podcast. So all the dolls are from China, and I like Trump's initial reaction is maybe you don't need 30 dolls, maybe you need 2 dolls, maybe you just need a doll. Just one doll would be good for you and
that's pretty good.
And the family. Well, you're right. Right. The media has decided that this is a point of emphasis and ultimately attack for many of them against the Trump administration. That the tariff thing, it changes from day to day. Is it something that is going to be policy, that it's invested in getting money into the United States of America, or is it a negotiating ploy to get better deals? Donald Trump's language on this changes day to day, and so the media feels like it's a soft point in the Trump administration over the first 100 or so days. So they go after it. Problem is, the American consumer is not feeling it. We're being told it.
Yes.
But we're not feeling it. And so they have to emphasize that, by God, you will feel it at some point. It's coming down the road if Donald Trump remains president of the United States.
And I think the reminder here to the administration should be that this is a gamble.
Mm-hmm.
You have a finite window of time where your gamble must pay off. And if you do not, the political consequences will be draconian. Let's be honest, the media is not friendly to Republicans, certainly not to the administration. So this is, as you state, an attack point. What I think is maybe worse is it's a little bit tone deaf to have a Secretary of Commerce and a billionaire president saying, well, how much do you really need? We can sometimes forget in the media and in the pundit class that for a lot of Americans, they're paycheck to paycheck folks. And to tell them, hey, I worked hard and I want to buy something nice for my kid, and you billionaire who has buildings named after you and stuff like that, telling me how much do I really need for my kid, that narrative, if we're not careful, it's the same one that gave Trump the White House.
True.
It was people saying, I've had enough of this, and dadgummit, I just don't want those people in
Well,
power.
how about a really nice American doll, Cameron, or a doll from somewhere else other than China?
It would be weird if literally there was a collection of dolls called American Dolls.
That we could just point to as an easy way to get the toys that you want. I agree with you that, Trump is in the White House because of the populist tone that he's
Yes.
able to strike with the American people. And if you talk like an elitist, it's not going to come off well for the American people. I would also say that, once again, the idea here is to draw China out and to get them to come to the negotiation table. I would say this, too, on the issue of tariffs and dolls, that one of the dangers in what Trump's doing, I trust what he's doing, but one of the dangers is that he doesn't control everything.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. We were told by Scott Bessent that India was going to be one of the first to the negotiation table to redraw a trade deal. Well, India's got a little issue going on right now with Pakistan that really doesn't have anything to do with the United States of America, but it could impact our ability to renegotiate those trade deals if they're busy with, I don't know, a war.
Yep. Slows you down every time.
Slows you down every time. So you have to watch some of those things that you don't have control over as to the unintended consequences on your traffic.
So what's your word?
My word is ALCATRAZ. ALCATRAZ, which I didn't learn this until I was like this week old when I learned this. Do you know where Alcatraz is from? It's an old Spanish explorer or a settler in that region, and apparently the island was named after, it's not, his name's not Alcatraz, it's something else, but it's like Alcatraz, and so it's a derivative of that name. But we all know Alcatraz as the famous or infamous, as it were, prison in California, just down the way from the Golden Gate Bridge. Everybody's seen images of it. I've never been. Have you ever been?
No, I have not, actually.
Have you been to California?
I have.
I've never been to California, 51 years old, and I'm starting to feel weird about it.
Well, I've seen Anchorman, and I can tell you what San Diego means.
San Diego. Yes,
Sand.
I can too, and I don't think that's what it means. But anyway, so Trump decided that he was going to do the ultimate Trump. I call it Trumpo. It's like bingo, but it's Trumpo. If you had Alcatraz on your card, you're a big winner. Come on up front and collect your winnings, because who thought that this would be a talking point for Donald Trump? So he mentions that maybe we should reopen Alcatraz as an actual prison. Everybody laughs. Ha, ha, ha. It's something that Donald Trump has said. And the next day, Donald Trump says, no, dude, I'm serious. And so now we have to take him seriously, because you kind of have to take him seriously.
You do.
When he says these types of things, whether it's Panama Canal, Greenland, Canada is the 51st state, whatever. I don't think it is what I'm fascinated by are the number of Trump supporters, and I consider myself a staunch Trump supporter, but the number of Trump supporters that can't just kind of laugh this off and move on. They have to dig in on it, and they feel compelled, and it's not the majority, but there are a diehard few that feel compelled to defend it to the point that they're like, yes, we need to do this, and if we don't, Trump is a failure. No, we don't. There's a much better way to spend our money when it comes to incarcerating our prisoners. I'm just fine with Alcatraz remaining in
What kind of
prison.
rhino are you?
Right. And if you say that, suddenly, when did you turn against Donald Trump? I was like, no, I'm not turning against anyone. I just would suggest to you that maybe that's not the best
We're going
expenditure
to put
of our
more
money.
great white sharks in the water around Alcatraz, and the bad guys go there.
And then if they try to get away, then
Sharks.
we can film it and we put it up, and it's like the next big thing.
Yes. Only live action cameras, and we let them try to
No
escape.
fences.
No fences.
Just go for it.
And maybe some turrets.
Go for it.
You're absolutely right. This is Donald Trump ate a burrito this morning, or his favorite, a Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was like, you know what would be cool is if we reopened Alcatraz. And somewhere somebody was like, yes, sir, you're magical. We should do that. And so then he's like, okay, I'm going to riff on this. And then it catches fire in Magaland with, as you mentioned, a certain cohort that are like, he has said this. It is the best idea anyone's ever had in the history of the world. And meanwhile, the president of the United States is like, I'm saying this like off the cuff. You know that, right? It may not be the greatest idea. I'm just thinking out loud. And so it's got to be a little weird for the president, too, to be like, okay.
Well, if the concept is, and let's just draw it back to what is the concept? Is the concept to create the high-profile nature that he's looking for of some of these prisoners going to prisons to illustrate that we are not a lawless nation and that if you violate our laws and you come into this country illegally and do illegal criminal behavior, you're going to be punished to the fullest extent of the law. That's all well and good. I don't think we need to reopen a prison that's been closed for 60 years to accomplish that goal.
Yeah, we should not reopen museums to put prisoners in said museums because we do actually have supermax facilities in places like Colorado where it's very hard for, because these are really bad
Send
people.
them to Gitmo. I mean, I know it's controversial, but Gitmo. Gitmo's ready. It's there. It's technically American soil. So, that's a better option in the grand scheme of things than you would have to raise it. I mean, if you wanted to look at it realistically, you would have to raise it. I think it's only 22 acres of property, so you don't really have a lot of land there. And, oh, by the way, the idea of putting prisoners on an island to dedicate them to that island so that they cannot escape probably was a good idea back in the 20s and the 30s, but it's an idea that is a little unnecessary with modern technology.
The Australians are a big fan.
Sure.
They like that.
They like the island prisoner idea.
Right. But penal colonies aside, I mean, that's what, come on, guys. Like, at some point, you have to realize Trump thinks out loud. He is a verbal processor. He's going to think these things. It's totally fine. And not everything has to be taken and run with because that would be a bad idea.
And sometimes we just should have some fun with it.
Yes.
And move on from it. Question for you before we move on from this. Do you think the prisoners that have never been found, the 3 prisoners that escaped from Alcatraz, do you think any of them got to the mainland?
Yes.
Do you really?
Yes.
Do you really?
Yes.
I do not.
The probabilities of sharks getting all of them?
I think they drowned.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I want to believe, Matt.
I want to hope as well. The urban legend is that at least 2 of them got to South America, and there were photographs in the well into the 1970s and early 1980s of them in South America, which, I love the urban legend. So.
And if only they would have had all the best words to listen to.
All the best words. Like, subscribe, give us the old thumbs up. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. We'll be back next time for another edition of All the Best Words. See you.